Welcome to the Brutiful Game. Ho, 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 ho. As always, I am Santa Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And Ron.
That's Elf Ron to you?
Elf Ron.
Yeah. And what's happening?
It's Elf Ron Hubbard. Is that different? Maybe
yeah, there you go.
Different. He wants.
I don't know if you want to be associated with that guy.
He doesn't want to be a soccer podcaster. He wants to be a dentist.
Dentist?
And we are back after a woof. What a World Cup, y'all. Wow. It had everything. I'm pretty confident that the movie of the week special of this World Cup is definitely going to be made. Who plays Infantino? John Malkovich? I don't know. We should.
That's a great call out.
We should cast that.
Pay that man. Pay the man his money.
Yeah, we should put that together at some point. So in this episode, we are going to be covering said World Cup finals between Argentina and France. We're going to look back, reflect on some of the moments of World Cup, as well as review our World Cup brackets and predictions. I think I did the best. All before.
Yeah, you did.
All before we pass it over to the boy wonder of bratwurst, the saint of sausage, the holiest of the hot dog, Ron, in this edition of Ron's Beer News. It's my favorite thing of the pod now. I don't care about anything else. I'll record these to see what Ferris has written about Ron's wieners. Here we go. And then we're going to close.
Wow, that got personal.
Yeah, it did. And then we're going to close out the pod with a little return of the Premier League vortex. Oh, no. It was that one. There we go. As we look ahead at the upcoming Boxing Day fixtures. But first, our beer. Gents.
You want to go
I'm
first?
pretty excited about mine.
Well,
Go on, man.
Go for it.
I have gone over to Brewdog. We were just looking this up before the pod. A UK-based company that they've got. They brew all over the place. They were founded in the UK. They kind of got franchises everywhere. And I'm going with one of theirs that is a decadent toffee vanilla.
Mm.
And if you go to their website and read about this particular beer, the first thing it says is, "Wow, that sold out fast. Our teams are working on brewing more, and we should have some back on site by mid-December. So stay tuned. In the meantime, check out your local retailer." So this beer, to give you a little background, is Brewdog has teamed up with National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation to bring you It's a Beaut Pecan and Toffee Stout. Ringing in at 7.5% ABV, this rich and decadent stout combines sweet toffee flavors, roasted cacao, and hints of vanilla. Dare we say it, we've captured Christmas in a can. It may not be the gift that keeps on giving the whole year, but we guarantee that your six-pack won't arrive meowing.
Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
Perfect. Check out this can art.
That's awesome.
That's
awesome.
And then if you go to the back
did you
side,
say this in a text and you were like, you have to find this?
Yes, because my wife found it in Total Wine. I checked and it was at Florida. So I was like, you guys have to get this if you can. It's got on the can art, you got the house with the moose head eggnog glass. You've got Eddie's RV with the shitter hose rolling out the back of it. You've got awesome. The car with the big Christmas tree wrap to the top, and it is a officially licensed National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation beer.
You serious, Clark?
Totally serious. It's a Beaut. What a great name. Instead of being like, "Are you serious, Clark?" or something Clark. Like that. It's one of the more deeper cuts. A pecan and toffee stout, 7.5% ABV.
Ooh, pecan and toffee. That. Yeah. I'm willing to bet that is going to be sweet.
I have turtle ice cream in my fridge, and I think with one of the cans, I may have to make a float because this sounds good.
Oh, probably paired well together.
Just in case you guys had forgotten, I have my Clark Griswold pint glass ready to roll.
Nice.
Yes. Oh, what a great pint glass.
Boom.
All right.
Christmas vacation.
Mine is a friend of mine gave me a couple of beers for Christmas. They'll both be on this pod. But from Ridgeway Brewing, a brewery established in 2002 in Reading of the UK by a husband and wife team. They make a whole rash of seasonal, I should say Christmas beers. And some of them are hysterical. So the one that I have, first one, is called Lump of Coal.
Ooh.
7.5 ABV, a strong stout. Here's the bottle.
All righty.
Here you go.
That's a hefty bottle you got there.
That is a hefty bottle.
Yeah.
Man, that bad boy, like the bottle itself, the inside, the dark.
Like
and on the back of the label, it reads, "Yet another bummed out holiday. A lump of cold, dark holiday stout is liquid consolation. It's a deep, rich, sweetly rewarding stout to take the edge off that grim family gathering, that cheerless annual festival of alienation. This brew is as dark as it gets, as black as a lump of coal you'll be getting for Christmas. Because let's face it, you've been pretty bad this year."
Liquid consolation might be one of my favorite terms I have ever heard. That is fantastic.
It also reads, excuse me, on the bottle, much more than you deserve for Xmas this year.
That's awesome.
So we're
shall
going
we?
to give this a
Yep. Hold on.
crack that open.
Oh, seamless.
Oh.
Would you like to pour, Ron, or would you like me to
You
pour?
can. I'll do the second one.
It's a beaut. Tried to give me more gifts than I needed when I popped it open.
Oh, that pours so dark.
Liquid consolation.
Right? That's so
Lump
funny.
of coal.
Yeah.
Dark holiday stout.
This pecan.
Yorkshire, is that where?
Reading.
So we both got stouts. It's that time
Yep.
of year.
So an interesting thing, go to ridgewaybrewing.co.uk and you should see
From Oxfordshire.
You should see where the seasonal tab is, and they have these beers that are amazing, all by the ABV. So they have Bad Elf, which is a 4.5% pale ale, then Black Elf, which is 4.5% black pale ale, then Bad Elf Dry Hop, which is a 6% English strong ale, Very Bad Elf, which is a 7.5% strong amber ale, then Seriously Bad Elf, which is 9.0% English triple.
You serious, Clark?
Yep. Then a Criminally Bad Elf, which is 10.5% barley wine.
If I woke up tomorrow with my head sewn to the carpet, I wouldn't be more surprised than I am right now.
The worst thing I did was put the board in reach of Ferris.
Yep. Well, hey, look, it's Christmas in just a few days. If there's any day that we can overdo the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, it's today.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
It's today.
Without question. So, yeah, go to Ridgeway Brewing. They have some fun beers on there. We're going to have the second one is also one of theirs, but I don't want to give that away.
Fair enough. Okay. Woo, I'm excited. Oxfordshire.
Oh, you ready to crack this there, Mr. Blake?
I am.
Ooh, this smells good. Cheers.
Cheers, gents. Merry Christmas. Well, that's Christmas dessert in a friggin' glass. Good God, that's awesome. It's a beaut.
Ooh, Nally.
Is a beaut.
Wow. So this has a
Great. Hold on. Blake just sent his photos of the beer and his pint glass. We will have to get these online. Those are great.
Yeah. Well, depending on what Ron's got with him, I have a 4-pack here, which makes me think I've doubled up, like a 4-pack of this set. I feel like someone doubled up a gift to me at some point because I definitely have a set of these.
Didn't we? One of us bought those for the pod.
The pint glasses?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought them, I think.
So I got
and gave them
years ago.
So I've got I think someone else after that gave me a 4-pack I haven't opened. So when Ron comes
I
through,
see.
you drive him back on your way back?
Just snag them.
Yeah.
Wow. This is a good beer.
This is dark, roasty notes there.
Yes.
Little nutty flavor as well.
A little semi-sweet chocolate in there.
Yep. And it stout, right?
Yes.
Dark holiday stout. Yeah. You say chocolate, but it's definitely dark chocolate. Like, you can taste that. It's smooth. It drinks as if it's nitroed, but it's not.
Yeah.
So it's smooth. It's not like a heavy, I just ate a meal stout.
It's quite good.
I'm
good. Enjoying that.
Yeah, this one's it's 7.5% alcohol. I don't know if you really get that vibe, but this is a super roasted stout, and I don't know if it's the maybe it's the pecan that's on it. You know, sorry, I'm from Eastern Carolina, so I don't say pecan, I say pecan.
Or is the pot of neck bone in there?
Mm-hmm. It's pecan. Keep saying it's pecan. We're gonna whip you up like a pot of neck bone. That's right.
Isn't that what Eddie fed the dog under the
That's exactly
table
right.
of the meal?
He's just hacking on a bone. He'll get it. Yeah, this beer's amazing. It's the toffee notes are not too sweet, but the roasted like pecan on it. It's awesome. Ooh, gosh, this is I guess if you're gonna do this and you're gonna do your partnership with Christmas Vacation, you need to throw down on this beer.
Man, sounds like we got two good Christmas beers.
Heck yeah, we do. All right, gents. Speaking of good, from at least the footballing perspective, it was a heck of a good World Cup.
Heck yeah, man.
Which, before we get too deep, is kind of annoying, right? Because the way they got this World Cup sucked, and all the controversies that went on with it, and it was probably one of the best ones ever. Put a pin on that. When we get to the point, I want to bring something up regarding that. So here we go. Wow. What an absolutely amazing World Cup final we witnessed on Sunday between two powerhouses in world football. The epic 3-3 match between Argentina and France, which ended in Argentina winning the World Cup via penalty shootout, is today being touted as quite possibly the best World Cup finals we have ever witnessed, and finally determined who the GOAT was. R.I.P. Cristiano Ronaldo. Just in case you need... I can't believe Ferris wrote that in here. Just in case you need a bit of a reminder, here are the main points from yesterday's extraordinary match. Extraordinary. Argentinian winger Angel Di Maria, who had a great World Cup, gets brought down by French winger Ousmane Dembele in the box, and who other than Lionel Messi steps up to make it 1-0 to Argentina. Did you have a moment where you thought, like, everything's on the line? Is he going to make this? Or are you just like... It's the Old West shootout with the sheriff, and this is happening.
Yeah, and this was in the 23rd minute, and it was really, I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to actually watch it. I was on the road coming back from Miami to Orlando for a gig that I did. By the time I got in the car, both of these goals had already been scored. So I was listening to the match on Sirius XM, going over to the Fox station, which is essentially just the audio from the telecast,
right?
Of it, and by far that got me most of the way back to Orlando, as we will go into how long this game went on. But from everything, I went back and watched the highlights, the extended highlights, yada. From everything, it was this 23rd minute goal, and as we'll go into here in a sec, was just shades of what Argentina were doing that entire first half, where they were just absolutely all over France and just dominating the ball, creating opportunities, and it ended with what was an absolute pen and a dumb challenge by a winger that really shouldn't be anywhere on the defensive side of the ball. And Messi stepped up, and not the best pen, but converted it.
You know what the best pin is? One that goes in.
Yeah, not wrong.
You got to score more than the other team. Boom. Just in case, as we move on to our reminders here. In the 36th minute, a lovely bit of play from Argentina ends with a deft finish by Angel Di Maria, who made it 2-0 to Argentina. And both he and Argentina ran absolutely rampant in the first half. To where, to be honest, I thought this was over.
A lot of people did.
And then in the 80th minute, so quite a long time for Argentina to be owning this, Kolomuani is brought down the box by Nicolas Otamendi. Up steps Kylian Mbappe, who barely touched the ball up to this point, and they really did kind of lock him down. But went on to call
and let it just kind of been known, there was a couple of there were about 4 subs that Deschamps made prior to this. 2 before the half ended, taking off Giroud before half, taking off Dembele before half. Mwani came in for one of those, and then Deschamps made an additional 2 subs before this penalty.
Gonna wish you kept Giroud in for that gorgeous 89th header that would have won the whole thing.
It actually proved to be a very good move.
It
changed the dynamics of the game because Giroud and Dembele weren't really doing a whole.
No, he made great. He was a great manager of this match tactically. Those are some great substitutions that he made.
Also, Dembele was taking advantage of
torched by Di Maria.
Yeah, on that right hand side all game long.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that France was not. It's not that they couldn't help him, but they had no way to help him. The midfield was so overrun with Argentinians, just, passes just cutting out lines and lines of French defense, that he was stranded for the entire game that he was on.
So that's the 80th minute. Mbappe gets the penalty. So he's 2-1. Think you got there's a game here because you have Kylian Mbappe for France, so you think this could get interesting, and it does. In the 81st minute, later, Kingsley Coman picks Messi's pocket to start off a quick midfield counter, which ends with an off-balance volley by who else? Kylian Mbappe. So now it is drawn at 2-2 in the blink of an eye. That moment there, and I thought the better team's going to lose. I think this World Cup.
And let me just say, as I was saying, I'm driving back from Miami on the turnpike. I stop out at one of those in the center gas station, welcome centers, food spot things, on the turnpike. I get out of the car listening to the match right around this time. It's 2-0. It's by all means, you're thinking, oh, Argentina are going to go on, win easily, or France might get one back. I go inside. I'm starving, and I'm like, well, Burger King has the shortest line, so I might as well go up and, get that. I'm starving. I haven't eaten all day. I order Burger King. I'm standing there, and then I just get a text from somebody that says, wow. And I'm like, why would somebody that doesn't usually watch soccer send me that? Just say, wow, without anything behind it. Sure enough, I bring up my phone, and it's 2-2. So in the course of me getting out of the car, walking into this welcome, whatever it is, the center, and ordering Burger King, 2 goals were scored. And it's 2-2.
The goals were scored 38 seconds apart.
Wild. When France hadn't looked like they did much of anything up to this point. Mbappe hadn't done much of anything up to this point.
Griezmann didn't do that much.
Was France doing that much, or was it Mbappe at this point doing it all? He literally he was putting the whole team on his shoulders.
I think the Mwani sub certainly helped with what the attacking, the threat that he had, a little bit more movement in the channels, a little bit more play that threatened Argentina. And we've talked about on the pod, if you've watched soccer for long enough, almost everybody knows what's the most dangerous lead to have in soccer.
Yep, 2-zip.
2-zip. And that's what Argentina have fallen to this before, right? They almost lost it to Australia, and they almost lost it to the Dutch, being up 2-0. They actually went into extra time against the Dutch, escaped it, against Australia. And then you give up 2 goals in this, and we go to extra time.
Boom. So, as you said, on to extra time we go. In the 108th minute following Luarto Martinez shot from an angle, the Lloris Perry save lands to, you guessed it, Lionel Messi, the lion, the goat, the lion that ate the goat. After a quick VAR check for a close offside and a double check of the old goal line technology, Messi makes it 3-2 to Argentina.
And you're thinking it has to be done here, right?
Can't
like
it's
there's
over.
it's in the stars for him to score and get the game winner and 3-2 and it's over, right?
And that was an incredible shot from distance by Martinez, who just leveled the ball, and Hugo Lloris was able to make quite a nice parry. The problem is that for the millionth time in this game, France did not stick somebody in Messi's pocket, and Messi side volleys it like it's like a pinball game, ping, 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 and it's in the back of the net.
Yeah, and you know, it was you can't really blame Lloris in this. You have to blame France defense and midfield in a way to allow Martinez to get to that kind of angle to play in that shot, because when Lloris made a good save, he parried it, but he really didn't have much of an option to, say, parry it out of bounds or over the net. The only real option he had was of trying to keep it out of the net was to parry it kind of back into the center of the goal. And never ideal, but that's all he can do just because of the way the angle of the shot came on.
Yeah.
And Johnny on the spot there, Messi, who wasn't marked, who was offside in the build-up earlier, but that wasn't the offside shout. It was either Julian Alvarez, really slight offside, very, very tight matter of inches is what they looked at for this goal, which played in Martinez. Yeah, it was inches. But Messi being there just kind of cleaned up the trash in front of net and just kind of put it over Lloris. And we had wondered if the goal line was a part of this because we really haven't seen it so far in the tournament, but it sure as heck was. And you saw it on the watch when the ref went, and the ball was clearly over the line. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. It was in the goal and then kind of swept out by Kunde, I think, or somebody. But yeah, you're thinking 108th minute. Yeah, there's one more extra time period to play, but Argentina have to win this now, right?
You'd think so. But in the 118th, if at this point you were thinking this was over, you were wrong. As 10 minutes later, a shot from Mbappe, the top of the box, hits Gonzalo Montiel's arm. I hope I'm probably butchering that name. In the box, and penalty. Once more, up step Mbappe, who again dispatched the ball to the back of the net, making it 3-3. What was the stat for the last time a hat trick had been scored?
1966, I believe.
In a final?
In the England final. Let me get the name. That's the only the only men's time. Who else scored a hat trick in a final?
Carly Lloyd.
Yes.
For the women, yeah.
Yeah.
That crunching one versus Japan.
And you can sit here and say, it was 2 pens for Mbappe, but look at what he did on each, and look at what, Kane had 2, right? Skied the one, made the first, against what is arguably the best PK stopper in goal in the tournament and quite possibly in the world, in Martinez and net. He went same side on Martinez twice. And he ends up doing it a third time in the PKs. Same side, to the left. Martinez guessed the right way 2 times, got a hand on it 2 times, and then dove the other way on the third. Why that's so incredibly insane to me is that's an unstoppable shot. The way he puts the power and pace on that left-handed, on that shot that goes essentially to his left, to the goalie's right, that is always curving away and almost hitting the side net every time, is almost impossible. And Martinez, being one of the best, got a hand on it twice, but you don't get a solid hand on it. So it tips off your fingers because it's just always going away with such pace. And it's incredible. You score 3 pens on the same keep, going the same side.
And that shot's always rising too, right? So like that's another thing that's difficult about it, because you saw throughout the tournament when people put even pacey shots that are about 2 feet off off the ground to the keeper's left or right. That's an incredibly savable shot. And you saw it. Virgil van Dijk did it in the Netherlands-Argentina match, right? But Mbappe's is constantly rising into that net, and it's hit with such incredible force that you could have a hand of stone and it would still end up in the back of the net.
Well, and the only other person to score a hat trick in the final for the men was Jeff Hurst in 1966.
Good old Jeff Hurst, owner of the local fish
England.
shop. Jeff Hurst. I don't know. It just has that ring of a name to it. It's a very English name. Good old Jeff Hurst.
So when England won their only World Cup. Boom.
So from here, now it's anybody's game as this goes to penalties. You know, on one hand, not the way you want to decide it, but on the other, good gosh, how flippin' exciting. Mbappe and Messi were the first two up for their countries and both slotted them home. Could have been, we might have seen Messi's last goal taken in an Argentinian shirt. Who knows?
Maybe at a World Cup, but he's already, anyways.
Yeah.
We'll get it in a second.
Then it was France who blinked first as Kingsley Coman has his attempt saved by Emilio Martinez, winner of the Golden Dong, if you saw any of the celebration photos afterwards. And France's third taker, Aurelien Tchouameni. Did I say that right?
You did?
Hits it wide of Martinez's right post. Argentina going to make all of theirs, and this most epic of matches finally ends on their fourth attempt at the subbed-on defender who gave up the penalty in the 118th with his handball. What a way to redeem yourself. Gonzalo Montiel buries his pen to send Argentina into World Cup bliss. Did you see where they had to airlift basically
today,
the Argentina team because they got mobbed by so many people in the streets on the bus? The bus couldn't drive for anymore.
5 million people showed up in Buenos Aires to celebrate the victory.
They have been partying. I mean, when you see those shots too, you're just like, yeah, you guys have it. Go have a blast. That's amazing. So Argentina, they claim the third World Cup championship in World Cup history. Lionel Messi.
Their World Cup, yeah.
Lionel Messi finally gets his hands on that elusive, iconic gold cup and ball trophy. He even slept with it if you saw those photos. Argentina keeper Emilio Martinez wins the Golden Glove for the tournament for his goalkeeping heroics throughout the tournament. And Kylian Mbappe for France with his hat trick in the final wins Golden Boot of the 2022 World Cup.
Man, crazy.
I mean,
what a final.
Yeah. I mean, we've already been kind of talking about it as we go, but I mean, you can't really ask for much more. I mean, especially if you just love soccer and you're not really necessarily a France or Argentina fan. Like, this is a wonderful finale for any neutrals. But this was amazing.
It almost seemed unfair that either team won. Like, you know, it almost was worthy of just a 3-3 draw, and like they can split it just because of how entertaining it was, how fun it was, how much passion each side showed, the goal scoring,
and a little
the
passing,
twist, the turns, the everything. You had the biggest stars in the world in Mbappe and Messi, who now have to go back to PSG and play on the same team together. Like, you had everything in this match.
What do the kids say today? Controversial hot take.
Go ahead.
Can we get Mbappe out of the French league? Like, wouldn't you love to see him in a real league that has competition? Because, like, he's awesome. And you just said it. Oh, he goes back to PSG, to where they just win. They win so much, they fire their managers when they win.
Yeah, but look at, he just turned 24 today.
Okay. So
like,
let's go play somewhere
he's
else.
so young. He'll probably go to Madrid, right? You've seen the pictures of him as a kid, which, 8 years ago, like when we started this pod, we didn't know who Mbappe was, right?
True.
Which is kind of weird to think about. But you saw the pictures of him as a kid with Ronaldo's number 7 jersey up, and a fan he is for Real Madrid. And there's been a lot of talk about that, him going to Real Madrid. I think at some point he will go there once some of the old guard at Madrid kind of move out. But with Tchouameni there, and a lot of other talent like Junior and Rodrigo. I think Mbappe will join that at some point. So yeah, I don't disagree with you. I'd like to see that, but in the same respect, he's shown that in 2 World Cups.
Yeah, he's already got one. By
20
the way,
years old, or at 19 years old and 23 on the biggest stage. He's shown it.
Yeah.
So does he really need to prove it on the club level? He has time to do that. He has a bit for PSG. He hasn't won Champions League yet, but
you misunderstand.
He'll have time.
He doesn't need to prove anything. Blake, selfishly would like to see him play in another league that's more competitive and what that looks like. And
playing for Newcastle United, wouldn't that be great? He looked great in the black and white of.
Look, let's just be frank. If he came to the Premier League, it would be Man City. So I actually don't want him to go to the Premier League because that's who would throw all the money. You know what I mean? Like that's what would happen. So that's fine. You know what? Real Madrid, that's a good throw. I'll take that.
I don't know. He can't stay there for too long because the Spanish league is a lot like the French league in the fact that
in some respects,
you better. The top 3 winners are always the top 3 winners.
Go get you some Wiener Schnitzel and go to the Bundesliga or something. I don't know.
Hey, for Dortmund, please.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
Wow. Yeah. Actually, that'd be pretty rad. So before Nefarious, you have questions for the tournament, kind of best.
Well, hold on, but before we go on to that, can we just say, if I am Messi at this stage, I am never letting Martinez pay for another bill for food, drink.
Right.
I'm sending him a car a year. I'm buying him a Rolex a year. I am taking him on any journey that I ever go on where I might need a bit of luck because, my word, did Martinez save Argentina on multiple occasions in this game and that 2-2 game against the Dutch where Argentina were basically giving the other team the game and allowing them back in it. And there was a save in, I think, the 119th minute that Martinez made on Muani with his leg, this kind of like starfish type diving out save that was a wonderful chance. And I thought that was going to make it 4-3.
It was France's breakaway.
It was a game-saving save.
The whole world puckered their butthole because it looked like he was going to put that in the back of the net. And instead, he decides to drive a low shot. And
he saves
Martinez starfishes out and is able to block it.
And from there, it's almost like another momentum boost for Argentina because you know that Martinez is one of the best PK keepers in the world. And on the other side, it's kind of a shame for France because Lloris has come out before in various things and kind of said, I'm not the best at PKs. He's a great keeper who has won a World Cup in his own right and a great shot stopper and just a good overall keeper. But he's not the best PK. It's there's the head games that have to be played. Martinez does that so well. There's the instinct. He has that instinct of where to dive, when to dive. He does it well with keeping his foot behind the line, but moving early. So he's not going to, so he does all of these things that when it went to pens, most people that followed the tournament and the game for so long kind of went, well, this favors Argentina more than it does France. So unless Argentina miss a shot, odds are Lloris isn't going to save one, where odds are you could probably guess Martinez is going to save at least one. And sure enough, he did.
Ron, around the 33-minute mark, my dog turned into Snots from Christmas Vacation. So I have no idea if you're going to hear him hacking up along through all of Ferris's conversation just now, but I'll just throw that out in case any of that bleeds through.
Okay.
So before we get into, there you go, hack it on up, Tucker. He was all quiet, and then he just started going to town. So before we get into some of your, these are very positive questions, and it's a great way to sort of to end it. But no. So great World Cup final. The FIFA crew had been discussing, why don't we, for the next World Cup that's in the United States, let's expand it. Let's get more teams. Let's do this weird 3.
That's going to happen. Yeah.
Well, there's already been a discussion that this was so good that they might hold off on that because this went really well. They made a ton of money. The other thing they said went so well was the players were in such good peak physical condition because it was coming into the middle of their leagues that we might even talk about winter again. So there you go, FIFA.
Well, for some teams it helped, right? For Argentina, you can say it helped. For France, no Conte, no Pogba, no Ballon d'Or, and Benzema. So for France to get as far as they did and do what they did, wow. And kudos to Deschamps, who, in my opinion, manager of the tournament, for what he had to do. You had Theo Hernandez in the first game who got hurt. So you had this 5 or 6 big-name players for France that weren't there, and yet you put Griezmann in this hybrid number 10 role. You do various things with a midfield of Rabiot and these young kids and Tuchemeni, and you get as far as you do to almost win the damn thing back-to-back. So for France, I would argue it didn't help. But for other teams like maybe Morocco, it absolutely probably helped. A lot of those players playing in the French league and Premier League and other leagues around the world a bit in form.
But come on, it's FIFA. So it's going to, if they figure out some way they think they can play this to advantage for money, I forget they made a couple of billion on this alone. That's insane for a tournament. I know it only happens every 4 years. The Olympics lose money, right? They bleed it every 4 years.
I would really like to see the breakdown of how and where they made their money, because I'd also like to see how much Qatar actually makes off the tournament. Not people coming to the country and staying in hotels and all that, buying food, extracurricular. I mean, how much money did they make off of things like gate?
Yeah, that's a good question. I know, like when Brazil hosted the World Cup, there was a lot of reports following it how the World Cup actually is not great for places like Brazil, where they spend all this money, build these huge stadiums and areas that just all then go to ruin. They don't really, the areas don't make a lot of money. So I'd be curious. I mean, for them, this was just a big advertisement. They could throw the money around. But
so let's for a second imagine a Winter World Cup in 2026. Can you imagine some of these games being played in these
Lambeau
let's
Field.
just say winter stadiums? MetLife Stadium in New York and New Jersey in the middle of November and December. Cool. Los Angeles, Dallas, fine. Even San Fran, fine. Miami, fine. Atlanta, indoors. Seattle, that gets pretty darn cold and nasty and wind and rain. And how about Philadelphia in Lincoln Financial Field? How about Boston in Gillette Stadium?
Oh, that'd be nice and chilly. So
Right?
would Vancouver.
Well, and then you have, and then you go over to Canada and you have Toronto and Vancouver. Yeah, I think Vancouver's inside.
it might be.
Toronto's not. We didn't go to that stadium.
I guess I should.
But I don't believe that's inside. That's outside. So yeah, let's go to let's have a December final in Toronto.
Well, you did remind me of something I forgot to mention with my beer at the pod. It was brewed by Brewdog. Not only is it cool, it's Christmas vacation, but if you remember from a few episodes ago prior to the World Cup, this was the company that did the eat, sleep, bribe football. It was the anti-World F asterisk cup promos they did. The beautiful set of game was scratched out. It said shame. They really went after everything on that. So I should have mentioned that with this beer. It was a perfect beer for a couple of reasons. Shall we look on to the best ofs?
Sure.
All right, gents. First question up. Oh, sorry, Ferris. Let me throw it over to our correspondent over in Orlando, Ferris. I think we've got a satellite delay there. Ferris, are you there?
Reporting live from chilly Orlando, Florida, 64 degrees on a Fahrenheit here. We have a couple of questions of the World Cup. Blake, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, Ron, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. Here we go. First up. What was your best goal of the tournament?
All right. I'm going to go with one that you guys, I bet, don't have.
Okay.
But it was one of the things that excited me as far as like, and I think it was kind of a
Haji writes off the heel goal.
no, it was a thing that I think kind of set the tone for some of what was going to happen in the tournament. And that was Takuma Asano's goal against Germany, for Japan's goal against Germany that won the match.
Good call.
He just literally on his own powered forward, and made that goal happen and beat Germany. And huge. I mean, like, and for me, I think between that and like Saudi Arabia's win probably set the tone for, you know, what this World Cup was going to be. So I'm gonna go with that for my goal of the World Cup.
Nice.
Ron, what you got?
I'm gonna go with. I have two in my mind,
Okay.
but I think I'm gonna go with Rick Carlson's styling scissor kick goal
Oh, okay. Yeah.
in his first match of the tournament versus Serbia, which they won 2-0.
Hard to argue with that one, yeah.
He gets a wicked volley off of a deflected cross and manages to just get himself in the air, turned horizontal, and scissor kick the crap out of that ball to the back of the net.
Very nice. I have a Richarlison one as well, but it's the one in the round of 16 against Korea.
Second one where he volleyed it up to himself.
That third goal against Korea where he kind of juggled it and up and over the defender, and then they played a wonderful 1-2 just threading pass. I remember coming around my like kitchen counter and watching that like in the perfect time to see that occur, and my mouth dropped. I just went, wow. It was one of the most prettiest goals that was so Brazilian style, that flash, that flare, but so well executed, so well timed, so well put away that there are very few goals where my mouth drops and I just go, wow. And that was one of the goals, and I think the only goal in this tournament where I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So for me, that
well
that would be
worked
that goal.
between three
Oh, yeah.
players. Yeah.
All right. You guys still got me there?
We got you.
All right. Minus the finals. What's your favorite match of the tournament?
I kind of nodded to mine in mine. I think it's Saudi Arabia beating Argentina. Because that was another one that set the tone that some unexpected things might happen in this tournament.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're going a little off the wall. I like it though, Blake. I like it. Ron?
Mine is Japan versus Spain. When Japan sends Spain packing, because there was just Japan, in my opinion, including the finals, were the best team to watch. They were having so much fun no matter what was happening. You always felt a sense that they were going to be able to bring it back, that they were going to be able to win. And they did it in such crazy fashion. And for one moment, my kind of crazy prediction in my brackets was that Germany and Spain were going to not make it out of group. And for about 10 minutes, that was actually true. That if Costa Rica, who was winning 2-0 on Germany at the time, and Spain was up 1-0 at over Spain at the time, that Spain and Germany were going home. It was incredible. And I just loved to watch that match. It was just so great because Spain wasn't even playing badly. They were playing full steam ahead, going after it, but Japan just had it all figured out. So that's mine. Japan versus Spain.
Nice. I actually have two. I have a tie for two, but I have 1A and 1B. That match, both quarterfinal games, by the way. That match that we alluded to earlier, the Argentina and Netherlands game with a wild finish, wild set piece, a lot of balls being kicked at the benches, you know, a little bit of pushing and shoving in there, feistiness, talking, all of it. And then that same quarterfinals matches, when Morocco beat Portugal, and I think the entire world went, holy
you serious, Clark?
Morocco are for real. Like, wow. So those two would be my nice favorite matches of the tournament.
You guys also picked really good ones. Yeah.
All right.
Good tournament.
Favorite moment of the tournament, gentlemen.
I am going to circle back to the Japanese, well, not team, but their fans. The whole cleaning up the stadiums afterwards, particularly after being knocked out of the tournament, was amazing on many levels, but they did it before there was any, attention about it. They just did it. And then, of course, when they actually got knocked out, they stayed behind and made sure they cleaned up the stadium as well. And that was awesome. That was one of those.
And the Japanese team also, nicely folded their laundry and things like that and placed it. They took care of the locker room.
Oh yeah,
like
the pictures afterwards of the different kind of locker room. Yeah, completely
Absolutely.
different. That was just awesome. That was really cool to see. And I don't know, it reminded me of I said the Olympics earlier, but the Olympics have these sort of like feel good stories, or people get a glimpse of cultures or whatever else. And I don't know. And that was, to me, that was kind of reminiscent of that kind of thing, but in the World Cup.
Yeah. Good one. Good shout. Mine is a history-making moment. Stephanie Frappert is the first woman in history to officiate a men's World Cup match when she officiated Germany v. Costa Rica. Germany would fall behind early and then make it up late as they routed Costa Rica in the end 4-2. But that's a history-making moment because that had never happened before. And then I have a B.
Go ahead.
A record number of yellow cards at 18.
Nice.
In the Argentina v. Netherlands match.
Nice.
As Ferris was alluding to early, it got really feisty. Gentlemen, the previous record for yellow cards came in 2010, Spain versus, you guessed it, the Netherlands. How many yellow cards was it in that match?
12.
Blake?
I'm going to go with 14.
12 it is.
Woo!
Ferris gets it. So there you go. That one's mine. Or those two are mine.
I don't necessarily know if I have a moment.
It's not the moment you learn that Messi is the GOAT over Ronaldo.
Oh gosh, here we
the
go.
definitive moment that
actually
occurred.
It was the moment the tournament's over, and I could stop seeing those commercials on Fox about how Qatar is making the world a better.
Interested in being a partner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh my god.
Can I tell you? I literally, my other favorite moment of the tournament. Here's my B. I didn't watch it on Fox at all. I watched it entirely on Telemundo. Way better experience.
Oh, good call. I heard a lot of people did that.
Way better experience. The people online
Well done.
that were like, I got to learn Spanish in the next 4 years because I never want to hear Lexi Lawless talk about how cool like Qatar is or anything again. Like,
I've Lawless has grown on me a bit over the years, but. Real quick shout out to that team. The commentary team of Derek Ray and Ali Wagner, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, they were
two
fun.
of my favorites. Did Derek Ray for years and years and years. Ali Wagner has been calling a lot of games in the past few years. She's fantastic. Both of them together were wonderful. Moment for me, I have chunks of moments, right? When Pulisic put in that goal that kind of took the ease off of our shoulders that we're going to move on to the round of 16 and advance out of what it was a tough group. That Brazil moment with that goal was not only a goal, but a moment where, as I just described, I stopped and was like, wow, that's an incredible goal. A sad moment is the passing of Grant Wall. I think one of the things that I will always remember from this is that we lost such an immensely talented professional journalist who, without question, grew the game in this country by more leaps and bounds than he could have ever imagined.
And he got to see one of the more, prolific, an American team that played different than any other team had done before. Whereas before it was lock it down, try to park the bus, squeeze through, and we actually tried to put the foot on the gas and play in a way that is not associated with the United States. It's crazy to see that big turn really start to happen right as he passed.
All right, gents. Player of the tournament. Blake?
It's Lionel Messi.
Okay.
I can't, I want to, yes, it's a team effort. And I love that his mom was on TV saying just that. They're all special people. It's a very mom thing. He had opportunities to screw this up when all the pressure was on the line. Yeah, he's been doing this for years, but this is also the last chance, and he knows it. And to still, kind of do what he did. Again, it's not a one-man situation. I don't think he would say it was. I think it's him, and I'm not trying to be a jerk right now, Ferris. I think no.
Fair.
What I mean by that is I think it is him, and I also think that one of the reasons for me that it's him is Cristiano Ronaldo's absolute torching of his legacy leading up to during this World Cup. That to me,
Cristiano Ronaldo's had a rough 6 months.
Lifted Messi up even more in that respect. It's a very wild, weird thing to see happen. And it's not out of a spite thing. It just felt like that started to happen. And then the guy goes on and finishes and wins the thing,
Messi had a wonderful tournament. He was given the golden ball of the tournament. Absolutely worth,
Just a popularity contest.
Well, yeah.
Sorry.
Ron's a little bit more
screw Messi.
Hostile than I am. But
screw Messi.
Well, so Ron, who is your player of the tournament?
I have two.
Oh, I have two too.
Go ahead. Two.
Cheaters.
Martinez, the goalkeeper.
That was going to be my one. Yep.
Right.
How can you not?
Because without him, Messi would have gone home.
Argentina don't advance out of the quarters and don't win the finals.
Yep. Yeah, but without Messi, they go home. What does that mean?
No, without Martinez.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. And without the goals that Messi netted, they still go home. I'm just saying,
Messi scored one kind of game-winning goal, and that was in the second game against whoever they played after the Saudi Arabia one. That was okay, Argentina are going to be fine. But without Martinez's heroics in the
multiple
Dutch game,
and multiple games, not
particularly the quarters and this game, Argentina are going home.
Yeah.
So, and your second player, Ron?
The new all-time top scorer for France, Olivier Giroud.
Oh, yes. The lumbersexual.
He wasn't even supposed to play.
Fair. I have a France one. It's not that. Antoine Griezmann had a fantastic tournament in a hybrid role that he's really never played before, in that number 10 role, and kudos for Deschamps. Now, with all of the injuries, Deschamps had to kind of get creative there, but Griezmann absolutely bossed some games, was a workhorse, created opportunities. He had himself a wonderful tournament. Had France won this, be hard pressed not to say Mbappe, but in terms of the overall player and the totality of the tournament, Griezmann had himself a wonderful tournament. So you want to know how you guys did in the brackets?
Let's hear it.
Terrible.
All right. So Blake had Qatar and Canada in the finals.
If you're joining
the first two knocked out of the World Cup.
If you're joining this pod late, I had issues getting on the preview pod for the World Cup and definitely did not fill out a bracket. So it was filled out for me. Let's just put that.
And Blake, Qatar did not win the World Cup, by the way. Your dark horse team, you guessed it, Qatar. Not quite a dark horse team, being the first knocked out and being the host city. The biggest shock of the tournament was that Blake never actually filled out a bracket. And then Golden Boot was unfortunately not Aaron Ramsdale, although you do have a poster of him on your wall.
Yeah, no, it's over my bed.
You didn't do too hot this World Cup.
You had it right. It's over my bed on the ceiling.
That's fair.
Just like Russ had Christmas Vacation.
Ron and I actually both had Brazil winning it all and Brazil and England in the finals. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Blake, really good. Ron, dark horse team Japan. Yeah, you know what? I'll say that you win the dark horse prediction because Blake's of Qatar obviously wasn't there. Mine was Uruguay, not there. Biggest shock of the tournament. You almost got this one right, as you were talking about earlier. Spain and Germany don't get out of the group. Germany did not, right? Spain did, but got knocked out in that first match, I think, to Morocco, if I'm not mistaken. Because they beat Morocco, and then, so pretty darn close there. I'll give you a check on that. Joao Felix, definitely not the Golden Boot.
No.
Had a pretty good tournament, all things considered, but not, yeah. I had the U.S. make it to the quarters. When we got out of the group, I would have said I'm looking good. When the Netherlands beat the shit out of us, not so much. So we did not make it to the quarters. We only made it to the round of 16. And Golden Boot, Karim Benzema, obviously had to change that a bit. And I should have just gone with France and Kylian Mbappe, who was the Golden Boot, but instead I went with Neymar. As once it was announced that he was not going to play. Neymar had a good tournament, scored some good goals, but obviously not the Golden Boot. So we didn't do too hot. Blake, you definitely didn't do too hot. And I would say Ron wins kind of the bracket challenge for like 1.5 points when me and Blake got 0 points. So yeah. Congrats.
Oh, thanks.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll accept my trophy in cash.
Well, the trophy you get.
Oh, by the way, speaking of cash, the finals did net me a nice $30 on a $5 buy-in. So
who got that for you? The GOAT?
Messi and Mbappe.
There you go. From Ron's celebration, he does not get a golden chalice, but he gets a golden wiener. As we move on to the Sultan of Sausages, beer news.
Oh, but did you say the holiest of the hot dog?
The holiest of the hot dog.
The boy wonder of bratwurst?
Oh, God. These are pretty entertaining.
I love it. It's my favorite thing. And don't forget the Prince of Pork Roll, a very Pennsylvania,
yes,
New
great.
Jersey,
yeah.
Pennsylvania thing.
Yeah.
Great one.
Pork roll. How could we forget that one? Okay, so since it's the end of the year, anyone who listens to Spotify knows you get the year-end wrap-up
Yep.
of all your musical tastes. And who all your favorite artists were and all that kind of stuff. Oh, it's always fun.
Gotta be Tay-Tay.
Yeah, mine is.
I love it.
So I'm doing the same thing, but for craft beer and breweries.
Oh, all right.
Love it.
Since it's the end of the year, here we go.
Okay.
According to Untapped, top 10 craft breweries with the most 5-star check-ins on the app.
Okay.
Number 10, Dogfish Head Brewing from Milton, Delaware, with 11,656 5-star
I
check-ins.
think I ever knew they were in Delaware.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
This
I've
one
been to
might
the original
surprise you.
restaurant brewery. Yeah.
Sorry, say that again, Blake.
I said I've been to the original restaurant brewery when Ron and I worked at this out in Pennsylvania and the what was the beach trips we would make and Maryland. But we stayed in Delaware. Had a friend's family had a cabin or whatever, and I went and tried Dogfish for the first time, and it was cool when they started doing that Dogfish show that was on. You remember the reality show? And
Yeah.
he would hang out and pour beers and stuff. Yeah, so I went there before they were big. I think.
Yeah, and then when we lived in Florida, we would go to DeLand, Florida, and go to the Abbey and drink all their crazy beers because that was the only place in Florida you could get it.
A place I wish I could transport to here. What a great beer bar that was.
Yeah, that was a ton of fun. So number 9, Yingling Brewery in Pottsville, PA.
What?
11,816.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
Is FIFA involved in this at all?
That's what I thought, because I just completely trashed that Hershey's Porter that everybody
Yeah, you
seems
did.
to like.
I mean,
that was terrible.
to me-
in fact,
it's like a solid okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I was at a party with some friends about a week and a half ago, and I was just completely talking Yingling Brewery for that porter, and apparently that's this one guy's favorite brewery, and I was just laying it on a little extra thick, and I think he and I aren't friends anymore.
as the kids say today, it's mid.
Yeah. Okay, so number 8, Sierra Nevada Brewing Company from Chico, California, checking in at 12,142 5-star check-ins.
You gotta let us
Number
guess
7.
like the top 2 or 3 when you finally
What?
get to that.
Say that
I'm just
again?
saying, when we get to the top, like like the top 1 or 2, you gotta let us guess that before you let us know what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Oh,
Don't worry, I got it.
Okay, good. Just
What am I,
making sure.
new?
No, it's fair. Ron does like to play the games.
Number 7, Sam Adams, Boston, Massachusetts, with
I can see that.
13,398. That makes sense. Number 6, Toppling Goliath Brewing Company from Decorah, Idaho, 14,014 5-star check-ins. Never had a single beer from them yet.
Yeah, same.
This one is very popular, and I'm surprised it's not higher on the list. The Alchemist Brewing Company from Stowe, Vermont, 14,737.
Yeah.
This brewery I didn't think would actually make the top 10, but clearly it does. Other Half Brewing from Brooklyn, New York, 15,900. All right, number 3. Who do we think?
Stone Brewing out of California.
Wow, Stone Brewing. Okay. Blake?
It's a rarer beer. Who makes that Pliny the Elder? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh.
I do. I know who you're talking about.
What is that brewery? The Russian River Brewing Company. I'm going to say the Russian River Brewing Company.
Where's that out of?
That is out
It's California, right?
I do believe so.
Okay. So we both guessed California brewery.
What'd you pick?
Stone.
Stone, right. Okay, Stone and Russian River. Blake on the head.
Oh, well done, Blake.
Right.
Russian
well
River Brewing
done.
Company out of Windsor, California. 18,276 5-star check-ins.
A beer
Good
Pliny the
stuff.
Elder that I've never had and we need to have on this pot because that is like a
I don't think I
classic
have- yeah, I don't think I
high
have.
rated
It's
beer.
a special release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, who's number 2, gents? Blake, you're up first.
I feel like it might be more stuff like this. I'm going to say Stone for number 2.
Oh, interesting. Ferris?
Sierra Nevada out of Asheville.
No,
I'll let you guess that again because Sierra Nevada was number 8.
that's correct.
Oh, that's right.
I read that on
sorry,
the list.
Sorry.
I'll let you guess that again.
Not paying attention. Foam Brewing out of Vermont.
Oh, good choice. Nope. Bell's Brewery
wow.
Okay, that makes sense.
from Comstock, Michigan, which is,
Michigan, yeah.
I mean, right next to Kalamazoo. 19,340. Gentlemen, the number 1
Oh, hell the way.
craft brewery with the most 5-star check-ins.
Stone Brewery. Getting us in.
Something out of Colorado.
Give me a brewery.
But that's
Colorado.
not at all remotely like.
I have no freaking clue. Creature Comforts Brewing out of Athens, Georgia.
Which is not Colorado.
No, so I just completely, I'll swear on
just
that.
making sure. Both are incorrect. Treehouse Brewing from Carlton, Massachusetts, 51,964
It's really cool that
top 5 chicken.
the bottom three, or I say top five, the top were like beers that were deeper cuts or breweries that were deeper cuts.
Yeah.
Russian River, Bell's Brewing, Treehouse Brewing. All right, moving on to the next category. Top 10 new craft breweries of 2022.
Oh gosh.
Oof.
Right? I'm just going to read through these
Yeah, 'cause there's no
they're
way.
new, so
Yeah.
we'd never.
Is Deadwoods on there at all?
No. Steeplejack Brewing comes in at number 10 from Portland, Oregon. Number 9, Pretentious Beer Company, Knoxville,
Oh,
Tennessee.
I was gonna say that's near me. Yeah, they're number 9 for real. Because I was
Yep.
down Knoxville today, and we almost went in there. I went to that cool Irish pub I told you about, played a session over there, and we were walking out. The Pretentious Beer Company was open. We all need to go there. I didn't get to go in yet, but it is a
heck yeah.
cool setup in there. Yeah.
Love to.
I want to check that place out.
Yeah, it comes in on Untapped's list at number 9.
Awesome.
Number 8, Oak Park Brewing Company from Sacramento, California. Number 7, Cohesion Brewing Company from Denver, Colorado. Number 6, Little Cottage Brewery from Avondale Estates, Georgia. Coming in at number 5, Inner Voice Brewing Company from Decatur, Georgia. 4 is Attic Brewing Company in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, followed up by number 3, Human Robot Brewery in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Number 2, Swedesboro Brewing Company in Swedesboro, New Jersey. And last but not least, and just by their name, it sounds like they would be the best new craft brewery in the U.S., Fun Guys Brewing in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Hey, heck yeah, Carolina.
Good old Fun Guys.
Yep. And
The Southeast doing well.
Yeah.
There are a lot of Georgia.
You got me really
Yeah.
excited about
North
the
Carolina?
Pretentious
Knoxville?
Brewing Company because we saw that it looked so cool, but it was just kind of end of the day. Kiddo was tired, and so we went and left. But I was like, man, we've got to go check that place out. So that's cool. It was on that top 10 list.
That's awesome.
okay, last thing. The top 10 states for drinking craft beer based on the number of breweries per state.
Okay.
We're only going to do the top 5.
All right.
All right.
Okay. And you'll guess the top 3. Here we go. Coming in at number 5 with 401 breweries in the state, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Number 4 with 423 breweries, Washington State.
Mhm.
Gentlemen, who is number 3?
Colorado.
Number 3 is going to be North Carolina.
Negative on both accounts.
Oh.
424 breweries, New York State.
Oh, yes. That was dumb.
Okay.
So with 427 breweries, what is state number 2?
Colorado.
Sure. Colorado.
Wow, both nail it on the head.
Let's go.
Good job. Colorado. And the number 1 state. You have to guess the state and the number of breweries. Ferris, you're up first.
California or Georgia's my guess. I'll go California at 512.
California 512.
California, 689.
Well, you're both right on the state, but you're not even close
Oh, geez.
in number of breweries. You both guessed the state, California, 907 breweries in the state of California.
Was Carolina on that?
Where
Was Carolina on that list?
North Carolina is number 8
Okay,
with
cool.
333.
Is Georgia or Florida on there?
No, Florida, yes.
Florida is, okay.
329, sucking in 9th spot.
Let's go.
Interesting.
That's cool.
Cool stuff, man.
And that's your year end of the wrap up for some beer news.
Love it.
Cool, man.
Well, we're going to
So-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to throw in the second beer real quick before we move on.
Oh, yeah.
From
Forgot.
Oxfordshire.
Oxfordshire. Oh, yeah, you governor. Let's do
Okay.
it.
Golf.
So from the exact same brewery as the one we just had, we find ourselves happening upon a beer 6% on the ABV. It's a porter. This special holiday porter is made for winter, rich and warming the way they like it in the North Pole. Santa's butt.
Bend over and I'll show you.
Excellent.
The name of this beer is inspired by a famous line from a well-loved children's storybook. And the line is, and Santa sat on his great butt enjoying a hearty brew. Now, in case you find that amusing, Ferris.
Oh, Lord.
The brewer hastens to point out that butt refers to a barrel, a certain sized barrel customarily used for beer. So get your mind out of the gutter.
No,
Santa
get your
will be
mind out of
skipping
the
your
butt.
home entirely.
I heard what
my
he
mind's
said.
not in the gutter. I'm looking at the picture, which shows his butt sitting on a barrel. Quite a large butt.
Well, you have to sit on your butt
You got to
when
put your
you sit on a butt.
You got to sit your bunghole on the bunghole. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if that's exactly what he's
I'm just saying.
I mean,
that's
it's something
where
like
that's where the term comes from.
Well, what was the ABV coming in at?
6%. This is an English porter spiced
Ooh.
for the holidays.
I'm not letting Ryan get
Velvet?
away with that. By the way, he misspoke and said, "Get your mind out of the butt" before he said, "Get your mind out of the gutter." And that's my favorite thing he said this whole pod.
You're welcome.
Good stuff, Ron. Thanks for bringing these, man.
Yeah, I got them as a Christmas present
Heck yeah.
because it's so nice when you have friends that give you beer for
Yep,
Christmas,
yep.
like beer that you don't normally have access
Yep.
to. It's awesome. So let's give this a whirl, sir. Cheers.
Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah.
Merry Christmas.
Much love to you.
Holidays.
Mm.
What's the verdict?
This one's a bit bitter off the top.
Yep.
And then kind of has a bit of a caramel taste to it, a bit of roasted malt in there, and a very kind of coffee aftertaste.
Man, I think Ron's been hanging out in Canada too much, talking about that caramel instead of caramel. Caramel and pecans.
I'm from the northern part of the U.S.
That's
Caramel.
it's tasty.
This is quite a good beer. All right. 2 successful beers for the pod.
2.
Yeah,
And
it's good.
Blix.
It's a good drinking porter.
Yeah, it's easy drinking.
It is an easy drinking porter. Yeah, yeah.
Stout to porter. Porter sounds good. I haven't had a good porter in a while. I mean, I haven't had any porter in a while. Should be fair to say.
Yum.
I got to make sure I got some good Tennessee beer or something Ryan hadn't had when you get up here on Friday.
Oh, yeah. Be excited.
And don't you worry. I have to make sure you have some of this here Christmas vacation beer.
Yes.
It is good. I mean,
good.
that's what I would have named my beer for this. It's good. All right. So now we're going to shift gears just a little bit to get us back to the Premier League vortex. Premier League. It's back in a week. When's the last time you said that
Already.
after a
Less than a week
less than a week
now.
after our World Cup ended? That's weird. So Premier League back in less than a week. They are the first big European league back following the World Cup.
The championships are
No.
already been playing.
Well, so
I
top
watched
flight.
Sheffield United the other night.
Top flight league. That's what I was saying. First top flight.
The championship's a big league, but yeah, in terms of top 5 leagues, I think they're all on par.
Yeah, I feel like they were
yeah.
one of the ones to start playing first, but they return, and it is on Boxing Day. Just real quick, the table as it stands, just in case you forgot through all the deliriousness of the crazy World Cup. Arsenal sitting at top with 32 points. Man City 2 with
37 points first.
Sorry, I misread that. You were right. Arsenal, 37 points at first. Second, Man City, 32 points. Newcastle United, 30. Tottenham Hotspurs at 4 with 29 points. Man U at 5th with 26. Liverpool at 6th with 22. Brighton Hove and Albion 7th with 21. Chelsea also with 21, but sitting at 8th on goal differential. Fulham at number 9 with 19 points. Brentford at 10 with 19. Crystal Palace at 11 with 19. Aston Villa at 12 with 18. Gosh, I mean, this is all going to change so fast, so much. Leicester City at 17 points and 13th. Bournemouth, newly owned Bournemouth. We'll see how this all goes down. 16 points and at 14th. Leeds sitting at 15 with 15 points. West Ham United sitting at 16th with 14 points. Everton at 17 with 14 points. Nottingham sitting at 18 with 13 points. Southampton sitting at 19 with 12 points. And Wolverhampton Wanderers 20th with 10 points. Man, I mean, this really is a go any which way you like. It's very much broken up into very tight chunks. The table as it currently stands, which I guess can be a typical thing, but some fortunes could change real fast. And coming out of this break, they could, because this is kind of almost like starting the season over. You know, teams have been playing friendlies, going out to different tournaments, or
playing in the Caribou Cup.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, how teams jump back into playing. So on Boxing Day, we got Brentford versus Tottenham kick it off. Then you got Crystal Palace versus Fulham, Everton versus Wolverhampton, Leicester versus Newcastle United, and then Southampton against Brighton Hove Albion. And the day wraps up with Aston Villa versus Liverpool, and then Arsenal versus West Ham United at 3 p.m. on Boxing Day. And the following matches, the following day includes matches of Chelsea versus Bournemouth at 12:30 p.m., Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest at 3 p.m., and then on Wednesday, we have Leeds United versus Man City at 3 p.m. It just seems weird. Usually there's this like gap of, just a few short time, we'll be back to Premier League. And instead now it's like, give me a chance to breathe off of this whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're not even quite halfway through, right? The most that any team's played has been 15. So there's 38 games played. So we're not even quite halfway yet. So there's gonna be a lot of games from now until May. Yeah. It will be interesting as we've said on seeing some of these teams play. A game that I'm looking at is going to be that Aston Villa and Liverpool game. Most solid, obviously, Egypt was not in the tournament. Darwin Núñez and Uruguay went out in the group stages, kind of with Firmino, but Firmino didn't go with Brazil, so he stayed. Van Dijk, Alisson, all of them went out in kind of that round of 16 quarterfinals time. So with Villa, who have a new look, right? Remember they got in Unai Emery right before the break occurred. So to see how they kind of set up for this, and Villa will be at home in this. So Liverpool going away.
Does Liverpool have any of its injured players back?
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. I want to say I don't remember if Diego Alcantara was hurt prior to that. But Kone played a lot for France. Diaz does have a knee injury, Luis Diaz. Jota's still out until he might be back for this one. It says late December. Remember, Jota did not go with Portugal to the World Cup. And then Arthur, who really came in on deadline day, hasn't really done a whole lot. He's slated to come back early February. Other than that, they're pretty healthy. I mean, Diaz and Jota are big misses, but your big time player in Salah hasn't had a whole lot to do. I'm sure he's trained and sure has worked hard during the World Cup, but Egypt stayed home. So for me, that's kind of the one that I look at as a match on there. And in the 10 a.m. slate, I would have to say Leicester and Newcastle. See if Newcastle can kind of keep that form going, stay in that top 4 race against Leicester, who prior to the break really needed some time, right? They wanted the break. Vardy didn't go. Barnes didn't go. Tielemans did go. They didn't even go through to the round of 16. So, at Leicester City, so we'll see how that one. But those would kind of be the that'd be the match in the 10 a.m. and then obviously the 12:30. And then Arsenal versus West Ham. No Jesus. We didn't talk about this a whole lot, but he's out. He got injured. He got injured in the World Cup, and he's out right now. You guys have a whole host of injuries. Tatamiyasu, Jesus, late February. Smith Rowe could be back late December. Jachenko, late December. Lakonga's doubtful. The injury list, and without that number 9 there, seeing how they go up against West Ham. They are at home. West Ham didn't really have a whole lot of people go, so we'll see how that kind of late match goes. And gents, guess where I'll be in January?
Where are you going to be?
Me and friend of the pod, Phil, will be seeing Arsenal versus Manchester United in the Emirates on Sunday, January 22nd.
It's going to be so fun.
Kind of
good for you.
His birthday graduation gift. Me and his dad kind of surprised him a bit. And
do you need to borrow my
traveling
Arsenal?
over.
You want to borrow an Arsenal kit so you don't get beat up? Do you want to borrow an Arsenal kit?
I'm not going to buy an Arsenal kit, but I'm not going to wear anything Man United. and when me and his dad had met, he was like, just so you know, it did say on when I bought the tickets that only Arsenal fans can buy the tickets. And I was like, no, believe me, I'm fully aware. I'm not about to get kicked in North London. But yeah,
I just don't know.
On the day before the game.
Your poker face isn't good.
What?
Your poker face isn't good. I
know it's not.
I need Phil. I gotta be like, Phil, you gotta keep your camera on Ferris because I want to see him having to try to control himself.
So we're the day before the game. We're staying we're staying in a hotel about 30-minute walk to the Emirates. And then the day after, we're going to do a tour of the Emirates. Then hopefully the day after that, we're going to do a tour of Old Trafford.
That's awesome.
That'll be such a fun trip.
Oh, Arsenal versus Man United there. We'll see where the table is in just a short 30 days or less than that. Or
yeah.
More than that now.
Well, and let's not forget, I mean, it isn't just like coming out of the World Cup break, but this World Cup forces a lot of crunch schedules between Champions Leagues, UEFA. So the ripples are more than just the break that's occurring. You know what I mean? It's also messing with the schedule. So yeah, it's another, I don't know. We're going to have a normal Premier League season next year, I guess, from pandemics to World Cups in the middle of it and everything. Like it's,
right.
It's long for the days of just a normal season. We'll see what happens next month.
What games kind of pop out to you?
You know what? I'll leave Arsenal out of it, right? Because obviously, I would say that. I kind of maybe the Chelsea Bournemouth match. Bournemouth getting the new ownership and the coach had been, new manager had been doing well prior to the break. Chelsea inconsistent. I don't know. I'm curious to see if there's any sort of bounce off of
absolutely fair.
The new ownership at Bournemouth.
And potential sale of N'Golo Kante.
Yeah.
In the news today.
Jay Lings comes back to Old Trafford.
Yeah, right.
$5 he scores the game winner on us and then does a stupid little dance.
Would that be
100? Yeah.
Amazing.
I'll put cash on that right now.
I think the match that I'm eyeballing, aside from, kind of the ones you guys have been talking about, Crystal Palace v. Fulham.
Why?
Only 2 spots separate them. Both of them are on negative goal differentials. I think this is going to be like a quest for mediocrity in this match, right?
Okay.
And I think Fulham probably have a slight on the upper hand. But I think this will be interesting because I really like Fulham.
Yeah, I do too.
I want them to, stay above the number 10 line in the top 10. So this is really some of these games coming right out of this World Cup break are going to be statements.
And that match is one of 3 London derbies too, right? You got Brentford versus Tottenham as another and Arsenal versus West Ham. So already some London versus London matches here.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting Boxing Day set of fixtures.
And then a quick turnaround. Is that the 30th, which is Friday?
Yes.
Other games get played Friday, Saturday. Oh gosh, what's the slate there? You got you turn right around Friday. There's 2 games played: West Ham and Brentford, Liverpool, Leicester. Saturday, a whole host, which is New Year's Eve, another big slate of games, and then a few games on New Year's Day. So a lot of games come quick and heavy after the World Cup.
Such a weird vibe. We'll see what happens. Also going to say I'm probably excited for that Leeds and Man City match as well. to be honest.
Yeah.
The
The standalone on Wednesday.
All right. I think that wraps us up for this pod, gents. So our beers of the pod, I had the Brewdog. It's a Butte Pecan and Coffee Stout, official National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation holiday beer.
We had from Ridgeway Brewing in Oxfordshire, which is near, I guess, Reading, because the brewery had a Reading address.
Was it northwest of London?
More west than north.
No, okay.
Lump of Coal Dark Holiday Stout, 7.5 on the old ABV.
Darn good stout.
Yeah. And Santa's Butt, 6% Holiday Stout. Which one was your favorite there, Ferris? Out of these two?
I would have to say
Bend over and I'll show you.
Santa's butt. I'm digging the porter.
Well, that took a turn.
Perfect. Ferris, you got us a Latan quote following this World Cup?
Oh, do I?
Oh, excellent.
As the holiday shopping is ongoing, I have one that's kind of shopping related. As tennis great Bjorn Borg said of Zlatan. Zlatan is the best known Swede in the world. He is even more famous than IKEA.
Man's more popular than meatballs.
I haven't had those in forever.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, I'll give you a piece of holiday history for mine. So where sort of the legends of Santa Claus comes from, there's a lot of like different sort of like mythologies from different cultures that come together. But where the Christmas originates, they actually discovered a Christmas alphabet, which remarkably is very close to English with one major difference. Do you know what it is?
No.
It has no L. You laughed. I got an applause from Ferris. That never happens.
Yeah. Ferris definitely had the snort through the nose.
I'm pretty sure I've heard that one before, but no, that's a solid one, Blake.
You're
Solid
welcome.
one.
You're welcome. All right, gents. Well, as always, folks, thanks for listening. Have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a happy New Year. Follow us on all the places, Untapped for all the beers, Facebooks, the Twitters. If you leave a review for us on Apple Podcasts or however you listen to us, take a screen grab, get it to us. We'll get you a koozie, something, or just tell your friends about us. That'd be a wonderful holiday gift for us. All right, gentlemen. Everybody getting ready to do some of their holiday traveling and stuff. So travel safe. Ron, I'll see you in a few days.
Yeah, you will.
And we'll talk to you in the new year, right?
Yep.
We're not going to pod next week. We're going to do a little break and
Yep, pod in the new year, right after the second set of fixtures.
Love it. Love the beer. Cherish the game. The beautiful game. Cheers.